That's why I was also thinking of this too. And he's like, oh, I told him to go on eBay. I was like, some comic stores do have them, but you got to think about it. This is '91. So technically it's an old issue. 91 to 2013. Hello, that's over 20 something years. So I told him, I was like, yeah, go on eBay. I was like, you get them pretty cheap. I was like, $1, $2, sometimes $5, depending what you want. And he's like, oh, I said to him, I was like, it's funny. I was like, I remember where I got this one. I actually, it was funny. We were going on like an actual thing. He's like, oh, you remember where you got your comic? I was like, oh, dude. I was like, I remember where I got every single one of my comics, which is insane. Because back in the day when I first started collecting, because that was the other thing my friend was asking me how long I've collected. I've been collecting, I've mentioned this a lot of times, I think like 1987, 88, give or take, maybe a little earlier. It was when I was like 7 or 8, so 87 or 88. Can't really remember the exact thing. I just remember it was in the summer because I remember it was hot as balls, and I went to my first comic book store, and I've shown my comic the first comic I got. But I told him, I was like, every book, I was like, my mind was like a insane sponge / steel trap. I always remembered every book. I don't remember the price I paid on every book, but I remember every book from where I got it, what state or, what comic book store, or, at least where it was. And the interesting thing is, like back then, like I said, well, at least I thought I knew, which I think I did, knew everything about comics. I knew everybody's first appearance, I knew everyone's, secret identity, which, that's kind of easy. But everyone's first appearance, the year that it appeared, everything. I was insane with that stuff. Like I would buy the, like I said, when my mom got me that was an Overstreet Price Guide. I read that thing cover to cover, and I was like, oh, this is this and that. And back then you didn't have the internet, so it was basically you were going off of everything that you read. And I'd look stuff up. I'd go to the library, and occasionally the library when I lived in. What was it at the time? Hicksville. The library sometimes would have the Overstreet Price Guides and other things, and I would just look up everything, and I would, go by trading cards, which wasn't always right, but, I learned it that way. And my friend was like, yeah, so where'd you get this one? This I got from FunQuest in Plainview, New York in 1991. Yeah. Apparently this was July. Even though it says August, I think it's always a month before, so. And that's actually when I started working there. When this came out, it was actually the first day I started working there. Because I was there previous, I had gotten all the Spider-Mans up to this, and I wasn't really technically working there. I was just a customer, and I knew the owner and the owner's wife and his parents, and I was coming in there every Sunday because I would always take my grandmother shopping, food shopping. And I got an allowance. Every week I would get like $5, and then my grandmother would give me $5 for taking her shopping. So I had $10. Occasionally my grandmother would give me 10, or or if my birthday came around, I always got a gift certificate for that place, like $50. Everyone would chip in for $50, which now it doesn't seem like a lot of money, but back then that was a lot of money. $50, you got a lot of books. $1.75 for this one. And like I said, the day this came out, I was actually working there. I had to. I got out of school. I was in junior high. I got out of school. I went home. I said, can we go to the comic book store? It was a Wednesday, or was it a Tuesday? I forget. It was Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember when they had the comics back then. And I totally forgot this was coming out. Like I didn't know. The owner told me about this. He's like, I know you're a Spider-Man fan. Do you want me to put one of these aside? And I was like, oh no. I was like, no big deal. You don't have to go to that trouble, because it was kind of like, naive in a way. But then again, we're going to get into that too. I'm going to tell you another little story that I found interesting. We went there, and normally, like I said, I would go there Sunday, and I was like, why do you want to go there? I was like, I really want to see something, because I was talking to my friends all day about something. And we got there, and they didn't have any of these. These were gone. And the owner had one. It was bagged and board, and he had it aside for me. And when I went in, I was like, yeah, I was looking around, and like I said, I totally forgot this was out.